From Washington, I'm Christopher Cruz. Egypt's opposition coalition says it will continue to oppose an Islamist-supported constitution. A majority of voters have apparently approved the measure. A two-part election was completed Saturday. Members of the opposition National Salvation Front say they will ask electoral officials to investigate possible wrongdoing in the voting. 10 provinces voted in the first balloting on December 15th. The remaining 17 provinces voted Saturday. The ruling Muslim Brotherhood says unofficial results show 64% of voters supported the proposed constitution. It said 32% of all registered voters took part in the election. The opposition argues that percentage of voters is too small to approve the measure. The international diplomat for Syria's civil war arrived in Beirut on Sunday. Officials say Lakhdar Brahimi plans to meet this week with Syrian President Bashar al-Assad in Damascus. Mr. Brahimi was appointed the United Nations and Arab League representative to Syria in September. Since then, he has apparently made little progress toward negotiating a settlement to the conflict between President Assad's forces and Syrian rebels. Indian police used tear gas and water guns Sunday to try to control demonstrators in the capital, New Delhi. The demonstrators were demanding strong action against 6 men accused of raping and beating a young woman. It was the second such day of protests in New Delhi, where more than 600 cases of rape have been reported this year, one of the highest rates in India. Many of the protesters were demanding the death sentence for the men who were suspected of attacking the woman and her male friend last Sunday. The woman remains hospitalized with severe injuries. South Korean military officials say wreckage from a rocket fired by North Korea this month shows the North has improved its ballistic missile technology. The officials said North Korea has developed a rocket that can travel more than 10,000 kilometers, while carrying a weapon weighing 500 to 600 kilograms. And they said that such a missile could reach the west coast of the United States. But South Korean officials said it is not likely that North Korea is able to make a nuclear bomb small enough to put on a missile. South Korea has permitted a Christian group to light a huge steel Christmas tree near the country's border with North Korea. The tree is covered with lights. It will be taken down in early January. North Korea usually considers Christmas trees to be a form of propaganda, but has not yet reacted to the lighting of the tree. You are listening to the news in VOA Special English from Washington. Officials in central Somalia say they have rescued 22 crew members who had been held hostage on their ship for almost 3 years. The government of Somalia's Puntland area says the hostages were freed Sunday after a 13-day-long attack on the ship, which was near the village of Garad. Somali pirates seized the ship near Yemen in March 2010. The ship had been sailing to the United Arab Emirates. The Puntland government says the former hostages show signs of physical torture and sickness. It says they are now getting food and medical care. The crew includes people from Yemen, India, Ghana, Sudan, Pakistan, and the Philippines. Rebels in the Central African Republic have captured another town after a battle with government forces. The rebel alliance known as Seleka seized the town of Bajare on Sunday. Witnesses say government forces withdrew after 2 hours of gunfire. About 40,000 people live in Bajare. It is in the central part of the country. The rebels have now seized at least 8 towns since launching an offensive earlier this month, and they are threatening to oust President François Bozizé. Islamist militants are tearing down more ancient mausoleums in the Malian city of Timbuktu. Witnesses and travel officials say rebels from the Ansar Dine group began destroying the burial places on Sunday using pickaxes. In July, militants destroyed several mausoleums in Timbuktu after the United Nations Cultural Agency added the city to its list of places that are in danger. The agency also listed the city as a World Heritage Area because of its ancient religious centers, some of which date back to the 15th century. Many Muslims treat the sites with respect, but Ansar Dine considers them unholy. Part of a separatist group in Ethiopia says it is seeking peace talks with the government. A spokesman for the Ogaden National Liberation Front said its members were in Addis Ababa in hopes of beginning talks with the government. The Ogaden National Liberation Front has fought for independence of the mainly ethnic Somali province of Ogaden since the 1980s. Political observers said the offer of peace talks could help bring calm to an area which is said to be rich in oil and natural gas. So far, there has been no comment from Ethiopian officials. And finally at this hour, Italy's temporary Prime Minister Mario Monti says he would consider an offer to govern the country again. But he says he will not seek election in voting set for February. Mr. Monti says if political parties supported him and asked him to be the Prime Minister, he would consider it. He rejected calls from some groups to be a candidate. Mr. Monti announced his resignation on Friday, after former Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi's People of Freedom political party withdrew its support from the government. Mario Monti will lead a temporary government until the February elections. And in late news, Syrian rights activists said government warplanes hit a bakery in the central town of Halfaya on Sunday, killing and wounding many people.